Hey, She Slayers, and welcome to another episode of She Slays the Day podcast. I am your host, Dr. Lauren Brunswick. Okay, we're post Thanksgiving. Did you get all the stuff that you needed to buy? Did you eat all of the things you needed to eat? I feel so old. I was talking to someone last week at my clinic, or well, 2 weeks ago by the time you're hearing this, and we were talking about Black Friday. And I literally said, because I asked, like, oh, are you going to go Black Friday shopping? And she was like, no, there's no point. I just do online stuff. And she's young. She's like in her 20s. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, I feel like us elder millennials are still holding on to this time where Black Friday used to be good. And I said, like, because when I started going, there was no online shopping. And you guys, I felt so old. Like, there was no online shopping. That's why Black Friday was good. Is you had to go. They had actual deals. You were lucky if the stores opened at 5 a.m. There was no, like, I feel like somebody, I forget who started to break out of it. It was probably Walmart, to be honest. Started to do, oh yeah, they started to be open on Thanksgiving also, or like they started to creep into midnight, and then it was like 5 p.m. on Thanksgiving, and it's this whole thing. And now we have, I don't know. What do we even have now? Like, were the deals better, or did we actually think we needed another coat and another pair of $20 boots from JCPenney and a $5 coffee maker? Like, I have that stuff now. So is it like because you're in your 20s that you're like, oh, I need a $5 coffee maker? And now that I'm 39, I'm like, I don't need a $5 coffee maker, and nobody on my Christmas list wants that either. Or was it just a better time? I don't know. We'll never know, because nostalgia just creeps in and you're like, it was a better time. Get that $15 coat, elbow some Karen. Neither of you needed the coffee maker, but you wanted it. So, and it was 4:30 in the morning and you're standing outside and it's cold. Good times, people. So I hope you had some good stuff. All right, we are to part 2. Did you listen to part 1? Normally, I'm like, who listens to part 2 without listening to part 1? I will say that probably you could get away with it in this. I mean, part 1 is great. But the conversations were so, like, we were literally winding down our conversation and then just opened a whole can of worms, and we both stayed for it, and it was great. So I will reread Dr. Ryan Rieder's bio. He is the founder of DC Practice Growth and the New Patient Avalanche System. He's owned and operated 8 offices with over 100 team members that serve thousands of clients every week. His marketing strategies brought in over 10,000 new patients for his offices in 2018 alone, and $7 million worth of revenue. He now helps chiropractors all over the world grow their practices with his tried and tested strategies. His chiropractic marketing book is a #1 bestseller on Amazon and has sold thousands of copies worldwide, growing practices around the globe. Now, one thing that's interesting that I'll say about Ryan is I don't like reading his bio, and I thought this last week when I was reading it, is it's interesting to me how much he has stayed with the niche of chiropractic. Because if you're a non-chiropractor and you listened last week, I guarantee you got a ton out of it. And if you're a non-chiropractor listening this week, you'll get even more because I talk even more. But like, it's one of those things where he has such great business and marketing advice that I'm surprised that he's staying in just chiropractic instead of helping private practice owners. But I don't know, Ryan, if you're listening, that's my 2 cents. I think you can expand in 2026, and I will take just a small little like affiliate find for as you explode into new markets and arenas. Just a tiny little finder's fee. Although I think at one point, I don't remember if it was part 1 or part 2, I give him like $1 million idea. Maybe not million, maybe like 30 grand. But then definitely in part 2, he gives me one. So this is what happens when you surround yourself with big thinkers, like with people who are not like, wow, you're just doing so much. That's crazy. You should slow down. People who are just like, they don't even know, like they may not even fully have been in the situation you've been in, but they've been in so many other life experiences and have learned from other people, and they just have really good questions. And you really come to learn that somebody asking you the right question can spontaneously create a $50,000, $1 million idea. And so that is something that is on my vision board for 2026, is to become even better. Even better. No, I think that I'm a decent question answer asker on the podcast. But in real life, I'd like to get better. In real life, I take a much more, I understand your problem. Stop talking. Let me tell you how to fix it. And that's going to be a hard one to let go of. I'm not going to lie. I really like just telling people what to do. Like there's a long list right now I could come up with. Okay, not like long, but I could probably rattle off like 7 to 10 people right now just at the drop of a hat of who I disagree with life decisions they're making, and that if they would just listen to me, they would be better off. Uh, but as I'm getting old and wise, I'm realizing you can't just force people to do what you want them to do, even though you're smarter and better and know better for them. So that's my goal in 2026, to take the kind of more patient, question asking, curious, tell me more. How does that work out for you? How does that present in life? Lauren, that shows up on the podcast, and walk it into daily life. We'll see. I don't know what that picture is going to look like on my vision board. A question. It'll be a giant question mark. Oh, and when I show it, only you guys are going to know. You'll be like, I know what the question means. Okay. Let's get to it. Let's stop wasting time. Jeez Louise. Okay. Relax your jaw, please. All right. We're just going to do like a quick reflection on the last 24 hours. We're going to soak in just this season of gratitude. We're not looking back to Thanksgiving. We're just looking back to the last 24 hours, and where was a moment that you had an opportunity to make someone else laugh, to make someone else happier, more joyous, and where maybe you mirrored to someone else their true worth. So often when we think of gratitude, if we're thinking about it like my teenagers, it's like, what are you grateful that somebody else did for you? But all of the best self-help books talk about to truly appreciate your life and things like that, that you need to be able to get better at giving first. And then all of a sudden, miraculously, it shows up in your life. So let us just focus on that. Let's put all that on our vision boards. In your name we pray. Okay, without further ado, here is part 2 with Dr. Ryan Rieder. Enjoy. So then it's like, okay, what is coming? Like, what's the solution? Are we just going to have to wait until they call us? Until it's like, okay, yeah, you click the ad, and then we send you a thing saying, like, we see you and we're ready for you 24/7
I
when you're
know.
ready to call.
And is that
Like,
gonna turn people off? So are we gonna see less engagement with stuff because we're better at responding? Because people are like, I'm just I'm just getting too
ah,
often. Yeah,
yeah.
because it's like nobody used to get hold of me for like a week. Now people get hold of me in 60 seconds. Am I just gonna
Right, everybody's,
not
like, in
do
this
anything?
fight or flight, and so it's like, I have no idea. So, like, listen currently to everything that Ryan said, respond as fast as possible. But, like, is there a future in 2027 where it's like, okay, we give them 24 hours to realize, or like we ask them, like, how serious are you about booking in the next 48 hours? Like, is that the, like, we
Yes,
have to
yes,
do a
yes, yes,
temperature
yes.
gauge?
Yes.
Because if I was like, request an appointment, do you want to get in this week or this month? I'd be like, oh God, this month, please don't. Because I would know if I say this week, or you could even say, like, okay, like, you're requesting an appointment. Are you interested in getting in the next 48 hours, the next 7 days, or the next month? That is basically giving me a temperature gauge as a person of like, oh geez, this got really serious really fast. And it's like so confusing because as a business, you're like, you clicked on my ad. And it's like, yeah, but
But I don't wanna book it. I
I
clicked on it
wasn't
at
ready
7
to
o'clock
book
at
it
night,
right
but I
now.
don't wanna
I
book
don't
it
have the,
now. Yeah,
yeah. I just
yeah.
wanted to start the process. And so like that would allow me to then go, oh God, within the next month is fine. Now, if you ask, like, when are you looking to book this? I want a cut of this when you roll this out next month. And it says, oh, I need to get it in the next 48 hours. Then if my phone rings, I'm like, thank God I threw my back out. I want that. Like, then it's amazing. But it's almost like trying to figure out, like, I think we're going to have to figure out, like, okay, little scared puppy into a corner. How, like, how much do you want us to approach you versus letting you, like, because if someone said, like, oh, I want to get in within a month, I would go like, okay, cool. Let's call them within 48 hours. Like, hey, Nancy, we see you're interested in chiropractic. That's awesome. We'd love to talk to you. Like slow voices. Nancy's overstimulated.
Yeah. I
Is any
think
of this making sense?
it does. I think the thing that I wanted to do, here's my lesson with AI. Anything you want it to do, it can do. So
Mm-hmm.
let's say Lauren says, hey guys, I don't want to phone them in 60 seconds. Okay. It's interesting. It's like, but I want peace of mind that they're getting called once a day for 7 days. Can you do that for me, Ryan? Yep. And can you send them a text first as an AI text that says, hey, I just see you opted into my ad. Could you, were you looking at booking like this week or next week, when best suits you? And they'll respond. And AI will go, awesome. Now, if someone on the phone says, hey, I can't talk now, AI also says, when's a good time to talk? Is it okay for me to call you next week? Yeah, next week,
So
Wednesday.
good. It's so cool.
So then the AI will the AI will automatically phone next week, Wednesday at 7 p.m. if the person says next week, Wednesday. So my lesson with it is that it's not like, like Lauren, me and you grew up in, hey, we're going to send an auto reminder text sequence on 24 hours, 48 hours. It's not that. It's like, hey, can you please gauge interest first? You're not having to predefine things. You can say, hey, can you please gauge interest first with a text and a phone call or just a text, and then gauge when the best time is to call them back. That's coming.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what's even scarier? It's Lauren, you're going to be able to go, hey, all the leads this week that come in, please can we try something different? Don't phone them. Just send them a text going, hey, when's a good time to call you to book your next appointment? And it's done. That's it. That's going to be that's the extent of the automation that you want to set up, that Lauren wants to set up. It's going to be voice activated automation in the next 24 months, I think. I mean, some people will be doing it sooner, but definitely within the next 24 months.
Yeah, it's I hope that, like I said, you're the third or fourth person that this conversation has really gone towards AI, and my hope for the listeners is that they just get a little less freaked out each time. So like it happens for me though. In most of these, there's like this,
I
because I'm
know.
not an early adopter.
Oh, I
I'm not a
am.
late adopter, but I'm not an early adopter. And so there's these moments in these interviews with people where they're talking about like, and then AI can do this, and then it can do this. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so cool. And then it's like, oh my God, what's going to happen in the future? What is the future going to be? Like you start to see, and you are witnessing the tip of the iceberg, and it is blowing your mind. And it's too much. It's like too much, and you just like kind of shut down, and you're like, "Fuck."
Can I take it away from AI for a second and say, if the only thing people got from this podcast is actually probably more use for them, is if you just analyzed your phone system and all you did, I want you to measure how many inbound calls per week you're getting, how many missed or went to voicemail. That's it. Because I ran 8 practices and that's how I had to do it. So we had to go, how many missed calls are we having a week? Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. And we just had to come up with what we called a hunt group. So we had 8 practices. If it rang 3 times in practice A, and if it never got answered, it diverted to one of the other practices. Because I was like, any answer is better than no answer.
Mhm.
So we got a 90% answer rate without AI. But I had a team. I had like 8 front desks. Now, most people don't have that. So I think the most important thing actually is not about AI. It's about going, I believe that the most money we're losing is actually what I thought was not following up with leads effectively, but the most money we're losing in our front desk is we're not answering the damn phone. And that was my big realization. So take it away from AI and just go, hey, if all you got from this to prevent overwhelm is get hold of your VoIP, your voice over IP system or your telephone system, and go and get hold of the provider and say, I want the following stats. How many inbound calls are we getting? How many going to voicemail? How many we're missing? Inbound, I mean, during working hours and out of working hours, you have got a great 3 months ahead of you just solving that, whether it's with AI or not, is probably my segue away from AI.
Mm. Okay, so is this thing ready or are you still in beta?
No, the website went live yesterday. So
Live yesterday.
yeah, I'm not joking. Yeah, receptionai.net. But it's just a cool journey, and whoever you go with, it's not about my product. I promise. It's literally just about. I just think there's so many providers out there that are doing this right now. So the question is AI voice ready, Lauren? That's the question. Is it ready? And I'm telling you, it's ready. But you still have early adopter if you do it now. And there's this weird thing where people will still like a perfectly pronounced no answer than a
Well, for a
mispronounced.
couple months. But it's just all happening so fast. It's like, it's almost I feel like somebody like you with a product like this that you've nailed. I almost compare it to so like we started doing decompression a year ago in our clinic. And so we don't take x-rays, but we will request x-rays for a patient that we think might need decompression. And especially like a current patient. So over the last year, there's been these moments where, patient has been a patient 6 years, whatever, long time. And it's like, hey, chiropractic has been, the adjustments have been keeping your pain tolerable. You're doing weekly adjustments for the last 6 years. You used to be like surgical. Now you're just in chronic 3 or 4 out of 10 pain. Okay. And then we got this decompression. And so it has prompted us to be like, hey, Todd, like we got you from like a 8 to a 4. Now we have this thing. Let's get an x-ray and see, like, we might be able to get you from a 4 to a 1. And so there's been these conversations where we'll sit down with a patient that we have a very good rapport with and look at an x-ray and we'll be like, that's bad. Like, that's a terrible, like you have multiple level moderate degeneration, and we'll present a decompression care plan. And it's amazing how many say yes. Like it's fantastic. But then, there's those couple that are just like, I just don't think I'm ready for this right now. And like, there's this peace of mind because I know, and I've literally, because keep in mind, these are patients that I have a big rapport. I'm not doing this with like a day 2. And I'll be like, honestly, Todd, I don't mind if you're not ready to give me that time or investment right now, because looking at this x-ray, I know it's not if
Yes, Lauren.
you do decompression, it's when you do decompression. So I can wait a year. I can wait. I know I have the confidence that like you don't want surgery. PT's great, but it's not going to do what decompression therapy is going to do. Like I can wait. You can give me your money and time 6 months from now, 8 months from now. And so I feel like you must have a little bit of that piece of like, listen, if 95% of the listeners right now are like, oh, not yet.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
okay, it's happening so fast that it's like, talk to you in July of 26. Like,
That's such a great analogy.
okay, yeah, you're gonna hold off on a voice agent for 2 years. Yeah, right. Look at how fast shit's changed. Like, okay, sounds good. We'll pretend that like
Yeah.
you're not ready now, but
That's such a great analogy, and that's exactly how I feel, but more from a perspective of, hey, you got nothing to lose. You got nothing to lose out of hours. So let me say that again. You got nothing to lose because no one's answering the phone anyway. Out of hours. So that's
right.
what do you got, and
Oh yeah,
also
you could launch this just literally out of hours.
that's why I wanted to do it. I don't
Yeah,
want
and
people
your
to.
clinics are
I don't
like,
want people.
flip it on all the time, baby.
I didn't want that. And people did it. And then I was like, like I literally went to my team and were like, they did what? They were like, yeah, I was like, what? Honestly, I was like, what were the results like?
Yeah.
Honestly. And it was like, what? 75% of everyone it spoke to that requested a new patient had booked appointment. It booked at 75% booking rate if someone wanted an appointment. If someone's like, hey, I'm phoning about a new patient appointment, it booked at 75% that everyone I spoke to. Some of them between 55 and 75. So I was like, what? So I would say to someone who's very skeptical, you have zero to lose by going out of hours. And I would start there. And also the cost, you said something to realize. I'll tell you the other AI project I'm involved in, but I'll tell you how it came about. It's crazy what's available to us now as entrepreneurs. So I've got ADHD and dyslexia, and I have loved AI more than anything because it's been able to allow me to have creative freedom to do stuff that I needed staff to do. Now I'm just able to go, and I was sitting watching TV one night or whatever it was, and I saw this idea of, since I'm deep in this voice AI, can I get the AI to role play with people as a patient? And true story, Lauren, I typed into ChatGPT and I said, hey, I'm looking at this product. This is a good idea. I had this frustration as owning 8 practices, 30 associates. Can AI become a role play patient? And it said, yep, that's really good. Here are a few market leaders in this type of thing for sales training. It already existed in sales training. So it's like you could role play objections and things like that. It already exists not in chiropractic, but in other things. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. Next question: where would someone go to get this thing developed? List of places. Next question: please write a job spec to get someone to bid for it. Write a true story. I go, please give me the steps to post it on this specific place you go to post type of projects like this. It gives me the platform. It tells me how to log in. It tells me to create an account. I just go copy, paste. Within 24 hours, I've got 10 people bidding for the project. And I had the project up and running within 48 hours. Now tell me, I had a call with the guy in 48 hours and we're like, let's do it. How much does it cost me to get beta? And he sent me the first version. I was on vacation in Canary Islands in Spain. I opened it up. I pushed enter. I was like, "Hey," it said, "Hey, I'm your patient. Act normally as you would." And I started doing a consult with it, and it started behaving like a patient. I role played for 10 seconds. I closed the laptop and was like, I went to my wife and I was like, "Holy shit! I can't believe what I've just witnessed." And now we have something called AI Conversion Coach, which is all it is great scripts, day 1, day 2 scripts. People get to watch and train with, and then they've got when they're ready, they can role play with the patient. They push enter, and it goes, "Hey, what brings you in today?" It answers, and it's all trained on my content and all that type of stuff. But now you have the script there, and then practice, and then it gives you a full AI report. You get the transcript, and you get everything. Now I am a tech idiot, and I was able to produce that within 6
That's
months.
wild.
I
That's
know,
so wild.
just from idea to go, can you help me
Yeah,
with this?
just to be able to like get it going. Okay, so I'll have links below. Um, yeah, it's up and going. What's the price? Does that depend?
So the AI role play is $99 a month. Like to have all your all your chiropractors trained and everything like that. And then I'll give you the kind of for AI voice agents.
Yeah.
Um, AI's got a cost to it, so there's like minutes. So every time
Oh,
AI
okay.
talks, but we just include it all. So you're looking about $200 a week to have all your
Okay.
calls answered and things. So roughly, I'm probably not just talking for me. I'm talking about for the industry. It's
Yeah,
something like that. It's like,
probably around that. Yeah.
yeah, probably about $200 a week to have like replace it, all inbound and outbound, follow up all the leads. And then you're looking for my AI conversion coach. It's $99 a month to have all the scripts, training videos, and the stuff like that. And I have let's say it's probably more powerful for a lot of docs who have associates. Then you can go, hey, I'd like it to role play
Yeah.
twice a week, and then you get
Your
all the
front
stats
desk and
and
your oh
reports.
yeah. Love it. Oh, Ryan,
Sorry
sounds
if I.
fun. Um, I want to tell you that since the last time you were on, we have been doing newsletters.
You're joking.
I'm not. We've
What?
sent 8. We do quarterly. We do quarterly.
Print.
And print.
What, Lauren?
Printed newsletters, and our patients flipping love them.
You are
It's
joking.
expensive.
Yeah, it is
Um,
expensive.
but, and I have no way of proving this,
I know.
So like I said, I don't remember like we've sent them quarterly for probably 2 years now, I would guess. So like I'm trying to think like basically since you were on. Um so this will probably be our eighth one we're sending. And I would say, and you said it'll take 18 months to work. And I will say, and I don't know if this is the newsletter or not. The last 6 months we have had more reactivations than we ever get. I
I'm
don't know.
so stoked to hear that, first of all. And I've got so many more questions. Anyways, do you send to the whole database? Or do you
No.
just, no, that's way I was gonna say that's way too expensive.
No,
Yeah.
that's way too
So
expensive.
active, like active
So it's a
patients or
pretty
inactive?
curate. I think we try and keep it, God, I want to say to around 500
That's really good.
mailings, and we try and like curate it.
Yeah,
Like
cool.
so like we lose a family to finances, they get added,
Oh,
to
that's
the
so
list and stuff.
good.
So yeah, so every once in a while we'll like yeah, we get some returns. They must have moved, right? They're off the mailing list and things like that. But yeah.
That's
Mhm.
so good. Oh my gosh, I'm so
Uh-huh.
stoked.
It's fun. Our
That's
patients
amazing.
love it so much, so much.
There's a term called neuroretention. Neuroretention. If you gave me a second, I could pull up the stat for you. But they actually did studies on recall rates of your product or service or brand, and a physical thing that someone can hold had one of the highest neuro recall rates. I'll get the proper term for you now. So if someone had got your physical newsletter, my analogy
Mhm.
is, and
Yep.
had either consumed it or it's on their kitchen, their fridge, whatever it is, that the studies are showing that it's one of the highest recall rates of your product. To remember, like, front of mind kind of thing. We know who this person
Mhm.
is, might not know them exactly. So that was one of the studies I read recently, which was really interesting. It kind of backed that up. But obviously, and how do you measure the return on investment? It's very difficult. It's
Yeah, you can't.
you
It brings
can't.
me joy. And every time that we send one out, we have multiple patients who it's a really hard ROI thing to do. And because it's not cheap.
How much
Like
does it
it's
cost
not,
you? How much does it
I
cost you
don't
for
know.
500? Do you know?
I don't know.
Oh,
Um,
oh,
I would be
yeah.
making I think I bet you each mailing cost with, stamps and all of that, I bet you it's close to $1,000.
I was gonna say it's probably $2
Yeah,
if it's 500, it's
yep,
probably
and that's my goal is to keep what I told them is like, "I would really like this to cost less than $2 a piece."
that's good. That's really good.
Yeah,
I'm so stoked for you. That's amazing. Congratulations. Well done. And yeah, it's a tough journey, but I've been sending newsletters to my customers now. My customers for 5, 6 years monthly.
monthly.
And yeah, and I've got people who've been with me for 7 years, and then here's this interesting about Lauren. Do you know how many times I want to stop doing it myself?
Really.
I'm like, the fuck, it is costing me a fortune. And then I'm like,
Or at
sometimes I'm like,
least turn it virtual. Yeah.
don't change it. Like, it's Ryan, don't be an idiot. Don't change anything. They're still with you. They've been here for 7 years. But like, I'm sure it'll be fine if I don't send a newsletter, but I don't want to find out. I don't
No,
want to find out. So,
no.
so I'm an advocate of it, but every second month I want to cancel it.
Well, I really do think that when we talk about, what's coming, like what's 2027,
Yeah.
I think that I'm starting to see it already a bit with like content creation and or like just like writing the caption for an Instagram post. Or so like I've started sending out a virtual every other week training and newsletter to my healthcare members that are like building a personal brand. And my thing with it is this like please forgive any grammar or
Great.
jokes that don't land or
Great.
whatever because my promise is that it is coming like I sit down and I type that thing out. It doesn't
Great.
even go through AI a single time. Um and and I think we're going to see more and more people craving something that they can like on one hand, they're gonna be like, "Hell yeah, I wanna be able to call and schedule my chiropractic appointment at 7 PM because that's what time I was available to call." But on the other hand, I think we're gonna see where it makes sense, just the holding on to, like, this is a real human. A real human took this picture, like, we're not even, like, like, a real human wrote this, and I know that this is, like, it's gonna be so this is what oh my god, do you think NFTs were setting us like, NFTs knew that this shit was gonna come, and it's gonna be like, "Oh, just wait." Like, yeah, "Oh, you NFTs are weird. Just wait till 2030 when you can be like, I painted this piece of shit. No, you can watch me paint it. No AI." And people will be like, I will give
Funny.
you $100 for that. A real human that you can prove painted that. I want it.
I've got a question for you. What do you think about workshops then? So, okay, so if you
Ugh,
base, yeah, if you based on what you
in-person
just,
workshops?
yeah, what do you think? Okay, so
Fucking A.
what if, what if this is happening? Okay, so this Dan Kennedy always says, you want to show up where nobody else is showing up. So based on what you just said, I mean, how many people are going to send a print newsletter? If we're like, even us, we spent the last hour talking about AI, right? But like, are people going to crave that more? And then I wonder what's the future of that? What do you think about that? What do you think of?
So I just had on a community building expert on the podcast, and it was really, really interesting. I think her episode was like just this last Sunday. And I mean, for people who are listening, not this last Sunday, like October 27th or whatever. Um, and I think that workshops are going to turn more community based. I think that people are not going to lose the cynicism of being sold to. I think sales are going to take much more nurturing. There's going to be so much more like I think that it's going to be more of a mom's meetup where there is no, I'm not presenting on chiropractic and colic. I'll
Nice,
be there, and if your kid
nice.
has colic, I'll talk to you about them.
Yes.
But I think that, like, hearing her talk about creating communities, like, she's just an expert at it, and you realize how much intention is put into a well done community.
Love that.
Um, but no, I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna see a recovery, even though people are gonna be craving human connection. I don't think people are gonna be craving being sold to by a human.
I
Because honestly,
yeah.
I would rather not have to deal with a human if I'm gonna like, okay, let's say I might want this water bottle. I would rather AI sells me this water bottle so I can feel more comfortable after I hear the specs on this water bottle, the price of the water bottle going, actually, I don't need that water bottle versus like a human like being like, no, be like, I don't want to hurt your feelings, but I just wasted the last half hour of your time. And no, I'm not
Yeah.
interested. Like, so I think being sold to will continue to be happy to talk to AI because it gives us the control. And I mean, my God, this is so, in my opinion, this is not based on any fucking
No, but
thing.
I like, but this is so, when you say it to me, I'm like, yes, like that. You know,
Yeah.
we do those wellness, wine and wellness evenings or
Yeah.
whatever it is, like that
Hmm.
type of stuff. If they're done well. One of your previous, oh man, I'm going to mess up the name now. She practices in Dallas. Um, um,
Denisa?
Yes. When I see Denise's like stuff online, Dr. Savvy who is down in
Hmm.
Beats here, and that the female chiropractors just generally do it better than the male chiropractors because they understand that third space thing that I
Yeah.
see
This is a third
hanging
space.
out.
Yep.
Yeah. And I'm like,
But there's
ooh,
not presentations. Those aren't hard sells.
totally.
So, like, that's the thing is that's what's been lost is you used to do something like that and you might set a goal with your team of like, okay, we're going to get 20 new patient signups. And it's like they probably still have a thing of like, are you interested in becoming a patient? But it's more just about, I think, talking to people and just yeah, so it's gonna be more difficult. Like, I think it's gonna be they will come when they're ready, and you need to do everything that when they are ready to make a decision, you are without question the name that comes to
Yeah.
mind.
They're
And
getting
that's
your
why it's
newsletter.
hard to put the ROI in a newsletter
They're getting your
of like,
newsletter, they're getting your emails, they're getting your Instagram posts. What do you think about this? What do you think about the ROI, the metric? I've said this, I've had an opinion about this for a while. I can teach one practice to do a patient appreciation event
mhm.
and then knock it out the park. 100 people show up. There's a band, there's food, there's razzmatazz. It looks amazing.
Right.
And then I teach another practice to do it. 4 people show up. And
Mm-hmm.
I've been, if you will, mentoring chiropractors for years. And I've actually had, I flip it on its head and I'm like, you can judge your community and how good you are at building that community based on the amount of people that do show up to your patient appreciation event.
Mm.
So I wonder if the metric isn't not how many signups we get from the patient appreciation events, but like how many people show up. So that's like a
Mhm.
measure of like, if you
Yeah.
can get, if people actually want, like,
And what is that there? Like, so if you are in a situation where you host a cool party event and nobody shows up, like, you're right, it's a bigger picture. It's like you've lost trust that your the event is worth their time.
yeah.
And like, you can get that back. You can get it back, but I don't really know how. Don't know how.
Well, it's going to be hard work. I mean, look at Denise
You
and like,
basically have to keep throwing some events that aren't sales pitches.
yeah, and they're good. And there's face painting for the kids, and there's a ball pit, and there's a jumping castle, and there's like people can take a break. Their kids are looked after, and it's fun. And it's fun.
But what we're really describing is a $5,000 event
Yes.
that literally we're saying, and then don't sell to them because you're just trying to create community. And you're
Wow.
just going to trust that
Yeah.
they're going to, and it's like, what? That's not good marketing advice. That's good community building advice.
No.
But like, I don't know. And that's the thing is like, what's going to happen with marketing is like, is marketing turning into community? We don't know. We don't know.
Isn't that, don't you think the community, that's kind of what you do what you do on Instagram is the virtual definition
Yeah, it's a
of,
fucking personal brand, and why I'm like trying to bang everybody. You're right, Ryan. You are so
it's
right.
the same thing. It's like,
This is why every single expert, Jen Fortlib, Gary V, Amy Port, like every single, like Gary V is hitting this hard of like 3 to 5 years from now. Because this is what they see. They see AI coming as an amazing thing, but they already see what the consumer, they know 100x these questions I'm asking. They're like, oh yeah, we're already seeing that in certain markets and da 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 da. Like they know what human behavior is going to be in 2027 when AI does come and do all this stuff. They know what people are going to crave, and they're going to crave. And right now, the best term we have for it is a personal brand. They're not going to say, I really want a doctor with a personal brand. That's not what their conscious thought is going to be. But like when you're talking about like, so wait a minute, I have to like just keep showing up without wanting something from them over and over and wait until they're ready. That we're not going to call that marketing because that's a personal brand that is showing up consistently, serving, loving, educating. When they're solving problems and when they're ready, you will be undoubtedly the thing they think of.
I think funnels are dead. So what I mean by that is,
Oh, do you?
yeah,
I mean,
no,
I wouldn't be freaking
I
surprised as somebody who
mean,
just
I
launched
love
last
that,
month.
but so have you heard that Google study about the messy middle? Messy middle?
My
Okay.
life is the messy middle, Ryan.
So Google, I'm going to mess up the stats on it, but it's something like the 7-11-4. Have you heard that before? They need to engage with you. I'm going to mess up the stats, but I can Google it here quickly. But it's something like they need to engage with you across 7 different platforms, 11 times. Yeah. So what Google came out with was massive data points on this, is that we used to be able to go, hey, you're going to opt in. I'm going to send you emails. I'm going to drive you to this part of the funnel. And then there's a nice, neat, linear way that we thought customers are going to do business with us. And what Google have now said is that there's this thing called the messy middle where
Okay, I found it. Google
you got it.
7-11-4.
Yes.
Consumer needs 7 hours of content
Yeah.
across 11 touch points on
Yeah.
4 different platforms.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so the messy middle.
By the way, you're welcome. That'll definitely go in your course.
I have my boot camp night 2 is tonight, and I'm like, well, that shit is going in.
No, you're welcome. You're welcome. But Lauren, so now what we have to understand is that good luck trying to figure out where the customer's coming from. Is it the newsletter? Is it the Google? Is it the Facebook? Is it the screening you attended and they just walked past? They didn't even
Mhm.
engage. They just saw you like, oh, I've been meaning to come there. Good luck. If Google are saying good luck, like was
So
it
is
Instagram?
that's what the messy middle is, basically this
Best
concept
middle
of
is
good luck on calculating ROI?
good luck on trying to figure out, was it the LinkedIn videos, the Instagram videos, the Facebook videos, the shorts, the reels? It's all of it.
Their coworker, they're this, they're that, like, yeah.
The
Whew.
newsletter, the thing. And it's like, well, good luck trying to make someone go through a nice, neat little funnel that we once thought would work. No, they're not going to work anymore, bro. It's not like, I sometimes even think of Facebook ads that way, in that if a customer says to me, hey, I got 60 leads at X cost per lead, but like, and I'm like, okay, great. Let's say only 20 of them became customers, but that's 50 on your database. That's 50 we can retarget. That's 50 that are getting your emails. That's 50. It's just going to take longer. And and you have to build a bit of trust. So in the beginning, it was like Facebook ad, 50 leads, 40 new patients. It's not that anymore. It's not that anymore. So if Google are saying good luck trying to, it's like, hey, let's get the lead to opt into an appointment, but then we're going to retarget them with with your Instagram posts, your reels, your emails, your print newsletter, and everything in between. That's kind of the space, but that really overwhelms people. So because then it's like, I can barely do a reel. Now you're telling me to be across 4 platforms.
Mm-hmm.
So even I get super overwhelmed. But and just actually interesting for everyone listening to this. This is do as I say, not as I do, because actually I'm really terrible. Honestly, I'm really bad at organic content. I am. I'm
You're
terrible.
like, are you even on they're barely on
No,
Instagram.
no,
I'm
honestly,
like,
Lauren, I'm so bad. So know what I've done is I have gone listened to Lauren and people like Lauren and gone. So I've got my first full-time organic media content person starting with me in the next 2 weeks. And yeah, and I'm like,
yay!
yeah, and I just told you before we started shooting, I said, I'm going to attend your course. I'm going to be attending
Mm-hmm.
your course to learn from you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, hey, like, that's got to change. That's got to change.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a perception thing of like the amateur. Are you coming across looking like an amateur because your socials are shit, which is
Right.
often my case. But I am, if I say so myself, really good at the old school lead generation, newsletters, print,
Mm-hmm.
blah blah blah. But that's not where it is. Like it's
No.
changed.
Yep,
It's
it's changed. And it's gonna get even so much more. Like it's just like people want to know who Ryan is and they want to trust Ryan first and they need yeah. But those all count as touch points. Like, and that's the nice thing is like once somebody when we're talking about like social media, once somebody buys in, like and they don't necessarily buy in when they start following. There's like this period of time where they're like, I clicked follow, but we'll see. We'll see if you entertain me. It truly is. It truly is. I don't have the stat, but I wonder how many people unfollow someone that they started following within like 7 days. Um, well, and there, oh my God, I could go down a freaking rabbit hole as to like what we're doing as content creators to screw that up because they probably started following you. Let's say you did like some weird trend, that was funny on TikTok and you did it with your kids and it was great. And they're like, oh my gosh, Ryan's hilarious. I'm going to start following him. And then the next thing they see is this like edited thing selling an AI agent. And they're like, what? What? That's not what I signed up for. And so that's why it's so hard that I really am like, you need to try and stay in your lane as much as possible. Does it mean you can't post fun things for funsies? You can, you just have to monitor which circle of your audiences like so you can post something and as long as let's say you have 5,000, 10,000, let's say you have 10,000 followers, okay? And you post something and it is totally off topic of what like Ryan Rieder's niche is, okay? It's just a funny thing that you're doing with your kids. Now, as long as that stays, like it doesn't start to go viral and you don't start to get new followers from that reel, you can keep it up. It's fine. And it's actually wonderful because your 10,000 followers, they started following you because they knew what you stood for. So now you can throw something fun, you can throw them a bone, and they're like, oh my God, he's just like me. He's really funny. So, like, you can do that. But now, if all of a sudden that reel starts going viral of you and your kids, and the thing is, it can go viral. It just can't go viral and attract a ton of customers or followers. Okay. So you have to kind of monitor these things. So when you post this and say, let's say an account is at 10,000 followers, and all of a sudden this reel that has nothing to do with what you're selling or your personal brand is, it's at 50,000 and it's at 70,000, but you're not really gaining followers from it. It's okay. Like, it's fine. But if all of a sudden you go into Instagram and it's like, so-and-so started following you from your reel, so-and-so started following you from your reel, so-and-so started following, because it'll say like started following you from your reel. And if you're starting to attract a ton of followers from a reel that has nothing to do with what you sell, I kill that reel. I kill it. I delete it.
Got it. Because
So I have, in the last 5-6 years, deleted between 7 to 10 reels that were like 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 views.
that's so interesting.
So yeah, so as long as you're not attracting, so like that's, and this is a tricky thing of like, right? Because what happens is if you just allow these posts to go out that have nothing to do and you attract thousands of followers, you're diluting your engagement. Like, it's all this stuff, this complicated thing where it's like, and then when you go to sell, it's crickets, because like, and that just, I mean, oh my God, I could teach on this
So
shit
I've
forever.
got, I've got, so I think the hardest thing for me to, when I saw this, and maybe why I gave up on it a little bit, but when I saw the space of kind of influence, metrics, etc. Okay, we have a tiny niche, Lauren. We have a tiny,
Mhm.
tiny,
Oh
tiny.
yeah, so tiny.
So you have to really watch out for this idea of like, hey, is it working based on, let's say, someone that's a global thing,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like he's got 50,000 views, but your 700 to, or like, let's say it's a local based business, right? Your 700 views is worth more than his 50,000 views.
It is.
Yeah, but it's ego. So the
Oh,
ego,
100%.
you see the ego of like, well, actually, I kind of want the 50,000 instead. So I'm going to post the cat photo, you know? It's
Mhm.
that's the
Yeah. Oh, I
challenge.
literally last night we kicked off the boot camp talking about, so like right now there are about 3 billion people using social media. 57% of Gen Z, 57% says they want to be an influencer as their main career.
You're joking.
That's terrifying. That is terrifying. And so like they have the bodies,
Yeah.
they have the time, and they have the editing skill. Like these people, they can just, they don't need a professional to like, they're just like, "Du-du-du-du, I did it on CapCut." And it's like, and you're like, oh my God, what did you just do? Like they're just, um, and so when I'm talking to these healthcare providers last night, I'm like, can you compete with that? Do you want to compete with that? And so there is this kind of like, I surveyed them in the Facebook group before the boot camp. I said, like, what is your goal of how you want, what do you want to use this tool for? This tool that we have been given is incredible. Like, and so many people talk shit on social media of like, oh my God, yes, it is all of that. Just like the internet has a dark side, but like, just like our cell phone, but like, social media is the most amazing marketing tool we've ever been given of access to people. And yeah, you have to learn how to do it in a way. Yes, you have to learn like how to approach the scared puppy in a different way than you're used to. Apparently, it's very different than LinkedIn. Um, but like it's it's so useful, but you do just have to realize like this is here for us. It's here for us to use, but we can't be trying to be everything. Okay? Because we
Yeah.
don't have 6 hours a day to do it. So if you want to get in and get out, then you do have to really go, all right, am I using this tool to get more new patients? Am I doing this to monetize, to diversify a second revenue stream? Am I using, so like we have a social media account devoted to getting new patients. That's our brick
Yes.
and mortar social media
Yes.
account.
Yes.
That is the
Yes.
number one thing. I have social media that is designed to monetize online and create a second revenue stream.
Yes.
So many people are trying to do both of like,
Got
no,
it.
I want a second revenue stream and new patients. And it's like, well, you need two accounts because your account needs a sole purpose, a
Yes.
sole purpose. And if your purpose, if you want to diversify, if you want to create a second revenue stream, if you want to diversify online, if you want to have a global impact, if you want somebody who lives 5,000 miles away from you to purchase something from you, if you want to make money while you're in a pool in Bali, then that you have to have that, and you need to have a separate account for the new patients. But yeah,
Uh,
you can't be focused on monetizing. And I also want to become Instagram famous. I want to go viral.
That's been one of my biggest, if your internal things, that I struggled with in the beginning. So I had some friends who, like, we were both coming into business at the same time, and their niches, if you will, were like more global, like let's say property investment.
Yeah,
Oh, your
I
market's
know. And you're jealous.
yeah,
Yes.
totally.
I
And
mean, I'm jealous all the time as a
I know.
chiropractor of like cupcake makers and like floral bouquet people. Like,
Screw
oh,
you for
it
saying
must be
something.
nice. People love what you have and you don't have to shove it down their throats.
Ooh,
Like, you need what I have, damn it.
I know.
Like, ah.
Lauren, I
So,
just quickly want to quickly be. I'm only going to come slowly coming to the end now. But while we're talking about where we think things are going to go, I just want to throw one cat pigeon amongst the cats. Is that the saying?
a cat into the bag?
I want to throw
Is
a
that the
pigeon amongst
phrase?
the cats. I think it's a saying. I could be wrong. I could have
We
just
made
made
it
it
up.
up.
I love it. Throw a cat in the bag.
But listen, I wanted to say ChatGPT.
Yeah. What
I
about?
think it's 1 billion searches or interactions a day now. When Sam Altman decides he's going to include paid ads in ChatGPT, which can happen in the next 12 months, it's going to be a glory. This is kind of the kind of message that I'm getting. It's going to be a glorious 12 months for entrepreneurs. Why? One is because, much like Google when they first launched pay-per-click, or Facebook when they first had Facebook ads, it's going to be incredibly cheap. Next,
Yeah.
Google and Facebook are going to shit themselves, and they're going to have to discount. They're going to have to discount. They're going to have to give you more views for your penny. They're going to have to give you more reach. Your Facebook ads that you were spending 2,000 on, if they don't, just the algorithm doesn't get you more reach, more organic content. So that's the message coming that I'm down the line is,
Yeah.
just be ready. Like, your socials better look good by then. Your ads, you better have good SEO by then. You should, like, you get ready, because there's a glorious 12 to 18 months coming for entrepreneurs where there might be a huge dogfight for your advertising spend when Sam Altman decides to turn on the button. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but only ChatGPT only has a 3% conversion from free to paid.
Really?
Yeah.
What are these people doing?
Yeah, they all use the free version. There's only a
Kirby
3%.
pays $200 a month for some agent thing. I don't know.
There's a
He's an early
3%
adapter.
conversion. So he will turn on for the free people
Mm-hmm.
soon. We're going to be able to do paid search. When someone says, who's the best chiropractor in said town in ChatGPT, much like pay-per-click, that's coming. And when that comes, there's going to be a glorious day for us all across many platforms, is the kind of feeling in the market.
Yep. So get ready. Oh, I
Get
love
ready.
it. So you better have your damn AI agent set up to call, because you're going to have so many leads coming in from ChatGPT. Blah, 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 blah.
I'm not even going to
Uh,
go there. I don't know how it's going to work there. But anyway, thanks for having me. And
yeah.
hopefully
This
we
is
come
going to end up
across
being a two-parter,
what has to
because
be.
it has to be. We just got two people with ADHD just talk. They're freaking. I think we held a stream of consciousness very, very well, though, for two people with ADHD, and it
You
was
could
great.
probably
So.
just about launch and probably wouldn't be all that bad. But there's probably two segments to it. The beginning part was a lot of AI, and the next part was just cool.
We're great.
The actually second half is probably
Yeah,
better.
it's
Yeah.
great. Okay. Well,
Anyway,
thank you
anything
so
else you
much.
need? Yeah, thanks for your
No.
time and everything like that. I don't know if you need any links from me. I'll pop them over to you now for the reception AI and the AI conversion coach. And then I must get you across a link for something else. But yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Okay, She Slayers. Well, this is ending part 2 of our Ryan Rieder weeks. So we'll make sure we have the same links that we had for you last week, tonight, or on today, whatever day it is. I don't know. And until next week, bye. All right, folks, that's it. So if you listened to part 2 and you didn't listen to part 1, Now I'm sure you're like, oh, that was really good. Go back and listen to part 1. I still haven't figured out what episode he was, but if you're like, that Ryan guy's pretty cool, maybe my editor will be so kind to throw it in the show notes of when he was on last. But he is a great guy, and I know that he throws events. So if you are looking to go to a great marketing event in 2026, even if you're not a chiropractor, I guarantee you will get so much more out of an in-person event even. So until next week, She Slayers, bye.